Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Siskind. I'm the author of these books, Playing Solo Jazz Piano and Jazz Piano Fundamentals. And this will be the last video that I'll share. That registration is open for a very affordable jazz piano class with me. I will put the link in the comments, or not the comments, the information, whatever you call it, below. And please consider joining me. Now, if you have read Playing Solo Jazz Piano, you might have figured out that one of the performances I'm obsessed with is Hank Jones playing The Very Thought of You. I've transcribed this, I've studied it, I love it. And what I want to show you today is how I took that performance and then I made my own arrangement kind of based on the way that Hank performs The Very Thought of You. So I'm going to walk you through Hank's performance of The Very Thought of You, some key moments, some things to watch out for, and then I'm going to show you how I created a version of Summertime that I think does a lot of the same things, but in a different way because it's a different tune. So that's the plan for today. I hope that you enjoy. So you could see a little bit of my transcription of The Very Thought of You. Just a word about this, he recorded this piece multiple times throughout his career, like quite a lot. And in fact, if you look on YouTube, you can find even more performances. And the performance always kind of follows the same format, but the details change. So it's kind of a mixture between a really prepared performance and then more of an improvisatory thing. But the first thing to notice here is the left hand. Ooh, not that. Okay, I refer to this, and many jazz musicians do, as the piece pattern. This is named after the Bill Evans performance called Piece, which is off of the album Everybody Digs Bill Evans, and he does this. And the entire performance is him just improvising over this bass, chord, bass, chord. And in fact, if you've read Playing Solo Jazz Piano, I put this, I put this in the stride section because the way that I think about this is that instead of going bass, chord, you're just flipping beats 3 and 4. So you're going bass, chord, bass. So I just refer to this as a different kind of a stride pattern rather than like its own thing. So this is the piece pattern. To me, it's like a subset of stride. And so he starts with this introduction, kind of going from 1 to 5 with some nice, beautiful, rich chords. And then he does these beautiful rolled octaves in the higher register. I really encourage you to listen to him doing this because it's so much better than I can do because he's freaking Hank Jones. Okay, here what he's doing in the left hand is he's using dominant 7th, sharp 9 chords. Something I actually don't use that much, dominant 7th, sharp 9 sounds, and just ascending by half steps. And if you listen, this is such a beautiful moment in the recording. Like he just really emphasizes that little change. Okay. One of the interesting things to note, if you're on a real piano, it's so different than a keyboard, is that there's a point on each piano where you no longer have dampers. So listen for the difference here. I don't know how well you can hear. Do you hear that? All of a sudden that F, that's not ringing, that's ringing. And so Hank Jones, as he does these octaves, he has one note that will ring out and one note that won't. And this helps him to voice the chords in this really fascinating way. So I think it's worth thinking about, where does the damper end on this instrument? One of the many reasons, I know some people are like, get one of those light up fancy MIDI keyboards like other people have on YouTube. And I'm like, no, I just want to play a piano. It's so much more interesting. So I wanted to do the same thing for Summertime. And so I did it also in D minor. You can see this Hank Jones piece is in D major. I'll let you see a little bit more of my hands. And I just started. So now I'm in a minor key, different than D major. And I really like this. This is the natural 13th of the A7 chord, F sharp. But it sounds like the major third of D minor, so it's giving it kind of this minor major thing. Pay attention here. There's my sharp 9 chords descending, which beautifully actually leads to. But before we do this next section, I need to show you what Hank Jones does next, because it's freaking brilliant. So I'll play for you from the beginning of the page. So he's going into more traditional stride here. You can see bass chord, bass chord. I'm sure I'm not going to play this perfectly accurately. I apologize. Okay, so the chord here should probably be like E minor leading to A7 or just an A7. Instead, he does A flat 7. This whole thing gets to B flat 7, and then he starts a solo a half step up in E flat major instead of in D major. And this is essentially in double time. So if he was going do 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 2 3, now it's and then the other thing that's clever, is that instead of just hitting you over the head with E flat major once he transposes it, he starts away from the tonic and does a substitution. And of course, Hank Jones is doing brilliant substitutions all the time. And he starts on this A7, which is actually kind of more related to D minor than it is to the E flat major key signature. So that's super interesting. So back to my version of Summertime. If I'm starting. So instead of going to D minor, I went to A flat 7, actually the same chord that Hank Jones went to. Except instead of going to E flat major, I'm going to go to C minor. And I might also start away from the root. I might start with E7. Why E7? Because there's 4 chords around the circle of fifths to land me back in C. So if I play them each for a half note, I land beautifully on C minor in the third measure. One more thing that I'm stealing from Hank Jones here is that he starts kind of with the melody. He goes. And then he really kind of trails off and goes in a different direction from the melody. Right. nothing to do with the melody. So I might, again, to link things up, I might start with Summertime. So I'm improvising. And then, eventually, after a few choruses, fast forward. Well, let me walk you through Hank Jones's thing first. I don't know where to start. I'm too excited. Too much coffee. So at the end of Hank Jones' solo, I'll take it right from 54. Looking at the next page. He transitions back to D major and back to halftime. How does he do it? Well, that's a great question. Unfortunately, it straddles two different pages of this transcription. So first thing he does is he slows down. He comes out of time. And instead of being in this kind of nice stride 4/4, whatever the arpeggios. So we're still in E flat, and it should go to a B flat 7 here, but instead he goes to an A7. And that first he plays the A7 with a sharp 9, C natural, and a flat 13, F natural. And then he plays it with a natural 13 and a natural 3. And now he's back in D major. And he starts again playing the melody, but then, as you can see from all that plaque on the page, he plays these kind of virtuosic, what's the word, cadenza-like solos back over this piece left hand. Whatever he plays, I can't play it. So I want to do that same thing on Summertime. So I'm going to play you my last chorus of Summertime. And I'll just vamp out on this little piece left hand. So let me see if I can now that you kind of understand where everything's coming from, let me see if I can play you my full version of Summertime, imitating Hank Jones's The Very Thought of You. That microphone's not working, so I'll do it with this one. hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. As a reminder, you can learn more about this kind of stuff if you're playing solo jazz piano, or if you're closer to the beginning of your jazz piano journey. Jazz Piano Fundamentals is for you. I'll see y'all soon. Thanks for the like, subscribe, and all the time you spend watching. See you later.